Breaking news, President-elect Donald Trump is expected to issue executive orders related to crypto policies on his first day in office. This now being reported by multiple sources, but directly and initially from the Washington Post. Also major news involving XRP and more. Watch today's whole video and click subscribe to Altcoin Daily if you want an edge investing in crypto by staying informed. And let's remember, Donald Trump owns crypto.
Trump told me before all of this went down that he owns a significant amount of Bitcoin.
This is David Bailey, head of the Bitcoin conference, which Trump spoke at last year. By the way, Altcoin Daily also spoke at last year. We're speaking at the Bitcoin conference this year in Vegas, and ticket prices are about to increase this Friday. So use code Altcoin Daily for 10% off your ticket. Link down below. But David Bailey, at the recent Michael Saylor New Year's Eve party, 100K party, said this.
I'm not going to disclose the number that he told me, but he doesn't manage his money himself directly, but that he had a significant position, even at that time, and the price of Bitcoin's gone up a lot since. So, you're right. It's all about creating alignment. It's all about creating alignment.
By the way, Donald Trump also holds a lot of Ethereum. We know from tax disclosures, probably from selling all those NFTs. But he is a huge believer in Bitcoin. And what's the news? What is the crypto executive order on day one? Well, some of you may remember about 4 weeks ago, Jack Mallers on Timcast let slip that day one executive order will be for the Bitcoin reserve, buying Bitcoin.
And it's 1 million Bitcoin is the target. I also know Trump is looking at a day one executive order.
Sorry. Day one executive order for a Bitcoin reserve for the United States?
Yeah, but so I know that there's people looking at the Dollar Stabilization Act is it gives the president wide discrepancy to protect the dollar, and there's potential to use a day one executive order to purchase Bitcoin. It wouldn't be at the size and scale of 1 million coins, but it would be a significant position, and it'd be a message that the United States...
And remember, they're selling some gold to buy the Bitcoin, and this would just be the start. The full effect would need legislative approval from Congress. But that brings us to the news today, which is this. The Washington Post reported on January 13th that Trump is expected to sign executive orders after taking office next week covering crypto debanking and repealing a bank accounting policy that requires banks holding crypto to list the digital assets as liabilities, essentially repealing SOB 121. This would officially end Operation Choke Point 2.0.
I will immediately shut down Operation Choke Point 2.0. They want to choke you. They want to choke you out of business. We're not going to let that happen.
So the Washington Post is reporting that Trump will repeal SOB 121 on day one. Congress passed the repeal last year, but then Biden vetoed it. And this is one of 3 big things that would explode Bitcoin, according to Saylor. Number 1 is the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which we have. Number 2, fair value accounting, makes sense. And number 3, what this is. Banks can custody Bitcoin, SOB 121 repealed. This is a 2-minute clip from around, I think, 2-ish years ago of Saylor explaining.
I think there's 3 big... Look, first of all, it's going up by a factor of 10 whether they fix any of the stuff, right? It's going to go it's going to be a grind up by a factor of 10 just because gold is broken and Bitcoin's going to replace gold. And now everybody in the universe knows they need a non-sovereign store of value in the form of a bearer instrument. So now they're looking, the amount of stories for last year, people said inflation may be coming. We're not sure. Now the mainstream narrative is flipped to inflation is here. You need an inflation hedge. So it's going to grind up to replace gold. It'll go to $500,000 a coin, regardless of whether they fix these things. But there are 3 things that are massive catalysts that cause an acceleration. And I don't think that those 3 things don't take us to 500,000. They take us to 5 million a coin, right? Those 3 things are a spot ETF where someone can go ahead and buy $100 million of Bitcoin, buy a security, an ETF security. I think that's 1. 2 is your bank is going to custody it for you and lend against it. And 3 is I can mark it up or mark it down on my balance sheet based on fair value. Pari passu. It'll be pari passu to the way I'd handle Apple stock, or at least that good. If you have property with fair value accounting, by the way, it becomes pari passu to the way you'd handle treasury bonds on a treasury balance sheet. treasuries are better than stocks because treasury is property, whereas a stock is a security, and you're capped out at 40% of your balance sheet as security. So it would be a major breakthrough if you saw any of those three things. And I'll end with this one observation. I tweeted this last week, but I think it's very powerful. It's if the banks can hold this stuff on their balance sheet, then a whole new class of investors are going to buy it. People are going to put in billion and multi-billion-dollar orders to buy it as a treasury asset. Nobody's going to sell it because there's no reason to sell it if you can borrow against it at LIBOR plus or at SOFR plus 50 basis points, right? So you'll be borrowing against Bitcoin at SOFR plus 50 or SOFR plus 100 basis points. No one's ever going to sell it. And then, as I joked, you won't be able to afford it. I mean, you will be able to afford it, but everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. When the banks normalize it and you can draw a $100 million credit line at 100 basis points from an FDIC insured bank, at that point, right, we're going to blow through the market cap of gold by a factor of 10.
Right.
So I think the best thing is those three things are highly likely to happen. I don't know if they happen in 36 months or 24 months or 12 months, but I would be shocked if it's more than 36 months. And I hope, guys, it doesn't happen in 12 months, because my view is the longer it takes, the more progressive the grind, the more time I have to buy more of it.
Altcoin Daily drops one video per day, keeping you informed about cryptocurrency. And just in, a new report from banking giant JP Morgan. JP Morgan releases a report stating Solana and XRP ETFs to attract billions in new investment. And again, head of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, just said this publicly, nothing new.
Bitcoin itself has no intrinsic value. It's used heavily by traffickers, money launderers, ransomware. So I just don't feel great about Bitcoin. I applaud your ability to want to buy or sell it. Just like I think you have the right to smoke, but I don't think you should smoke.
But watch what they do, not what they say, or watch what they put in a report to their clients, not what they just say publicly. In a January 13th report, JP Morgan projected that SOL and XRP, exchange-traded products, may eclipse the performance of spot Ethereum ETFs in their first 6 months of trading. They think in this new regulatory regime in the United States, after President Trump becomes the president again, these are going to have huge institutional demand. And in a direct quote from the report, it says, when applying these so-called adoption rates to SOL and XRP, we see SOL attracting roughly $3 billion to $6 billion of net assets, and XRP gathering $4 billion to $8 billion in net new assets. And senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, Eric Balchunas, agrees. JP Morgan is saying that altcoin ETF will collect $14 billion in flows in the first year, 3 to 6 billion for Solana, 4 to 8 billion for XRP. My team hasn't made any formal predictions yet, but this seems like a pretty reasonable guess. Gotta get the approvals first, though. And very interesting to see the altcoins that continue to gain users. Just 1 month in, and LimeWire file sharing is buzzing. 10 million files uploaded, and we're officially the #1 project on BNB chain, Greenfield. So that's how BNB, the chain, stores data, I believe. LimeWire is killing it in the sense that they're being used. They're one of the #1 projects. And speaking of recognition from ChainGPT, we were selected as a top AI project on BNB Chain. So both LimeWire and ChainGPT are killing it. AI and blockchain are coming together in exciting ways, and we're right in the middle of the action. Anyway, they're highlighting their top AI projects, and they say they're the best chain for AI. Our AI-first strategy offers secure, scalable, and efficient solutions for growing AI demands. And why they highlighted ChainGPT, they say, ChainGPT is a cutting-edge AI infrastructure for Web3, offering tools like smart contract generation, NFT creation, trading models, and AML solutions. So this is the AI infrastructure, all powered by the CGPT token. And if we're looking at their launchpad, this is a project, Primex is a project that I'm an advisor for. ChainGPT Pad is thrilled to announce Primex official IDO coming to our launchpad. And what is this project? Primex Finance is a leveraged farming and trading protocol that offers the highest APYs in the market and margin trading of an unlimited range of tokens on DEXs. So again, decentralized trading. Looks like the interest period starts in about 1 day. Something to keep on the radar. And I was going to end with this clip of Gary Gensler, with Gary Gensler being called out on his final exit interview on CNBC. He gets directly confronted about Bitcoin.
I've never owned any of these, and I've been consistent for 7 or 8 years on this.
Well, now you can, because you won't be at SEC chair anymore.
Hey, Gary.
This video is sort of going a little long, so you know what? I'm just going to link it. It's on our Twitter. It's linked down below. Check it out. And like always, see you tomorrow.